Now, laser engraving is becoming more accessible than ever before. And let's face it, how many of you would laser engrave in a kitchen like this? Not many of us would. But we all face this challenge. You may not have dedicated space. You may be in an apartment where you're not able to vent out. And those of you who can vent out may not be able to because of zoning or neighborhood restrictions. Because let's face it, you're venting smoke out, you're venting smelly materials out. And that may be a concern for your neighborhood and also for your friends and family. So in today's video, we're going to talk about a brand new solution from xTool that really makes laser engraving accessible to everybody. This is the Safety Pro series, and it's going to transform how you start your small business in a kitchen like this, in an apartment, or even in your garage. Let's check it out. Now, there are three main points I want to share with you. First of all, this air purifier, this mobile purifier, has the ability to automatically turn on and off and sync with the xTool software. So this is worry-free. You plug it in, as soon as you start engraving, the air purifier will turn on and the air purifier will turn off. You don't have to worry about asking yourself that question, is it on or off? Because it will do it automatically for you. And the same is true for both products. Second is that the airflow is automatically controlled by the xTool Creative Space software. So you don't have to worry about, do you have it turned on high enough to expel or capture all of the smoke or any kind of smell that's being generated by the items you're engraving. That's going to give you incredible peace of mind because you don't have to ask yourself, is it too high, is it too low, or is it just right? The software will take care of that for you. Now, the third feature that I wanted to highlight for you is the lifespan of the filters. A couple things. With this specific solution, you're going to have extended lifespan because of how the technology works. And also, and equally important, is the fact that you won't have to worry about the effectiveness of your filters. Over time, the effectiveness of the filter will degrade. But how many of us know if the filters are still good or not? You don't have to worry about that. The actual software itself and the actual filter will communicate and let you know when it's time to switch out a filter. That gives you worry-free usage. Now, the last point I want to highlight is that both of these products, the AP2 and the inline fan that you're going to see in a second, they both work with any laser engraver on the market. I've been using this solution not only with xTool products, but I've also been using it with fiber engravers. I've also been using it with 3D printers where I've been printing some smelly material. There are certain type of plastics that as you're printing generate more smell, right? For example, ABS. And what I've been doing is connecting this to my 3D printer and it's been absorbing it. So if you have a 3D printer, and let's face it, you may have it in your home and you'd like to be able to get I would say a smell-free environment, this is going to work for you. If you have another brand that is not xTool, another fiber laser engraver, another CO2 laser, or any other laser, even a diode laser, and you'd like to be able to have, again, a smoke-free, smell-free environment because you can't vent outside, then you can use this as well. Now, as we take a look at the AP2, there's a couple things I just wanted to highlight, and I'm going to go ahead and open it up. And this is magnetic, right? So this will come off. I'm going to put this over to the side. And there's a lot going on here when it comes to filters. But first, it is completely rollable and movable. So when we go on site and we engrave and we use this solution, the nice thing about that is that while I have one of those buggies that I carry things, I'm able to remove this and move it around when I need to. I really love that. Now on the top, and we'll get a shot of the top in a couple seconds, you have this cyclone type technology that's taking place that as it's basically going through its process, it's capturing the majority of the pollutants so that they don't make it to these other filters, and that's going to extend the filter's life. That's really important. As you can see here, there are 5 stages that are taking place, right? Well, actually 6, because you start with 0. 0 is the first number, right? And here, I'm going to pull this out so you can see this cyclone solution. So this is what the solution looks like. So basically, as this is on, you can see right here, this is where everything is going to come in, right? And all the major debris is going to be captured here. And the benefit of doing this, and I've been using this a lot, I've washed this out a couple times now, but I just want to show you what my second filter looks like. So if you are engraving slates, if you are engraving, let's say, brass material, because you're basically doing a deep emboss on a coin, this is going to capture the majority of your material. And what that results in, after a significant amount of time, and I've been using this for over, it's been about 2 to 3 weeks now, and engraving at least 3 to 4 days a week, take a look at my pre-filter. This is where it's crazy. Doesn't that look new? That is crazy. This is what we're talking about with this solution. The fact that this top area, the cyclone is going to capture everything. So you basically have your pre-filter. After that, you have this secondary filter, which is a HEPA filter, right? And HEPA filter looks brand new too. And as I go through each one of these, the common thing that you're going to see, and we're just going to put it aside, each one of these looks brand spanking new because of how much is being captured by that cyclone at the very top. So here's my next one, and this is my carbon and HEPA filter again. So here's my other filter. Looks brand new. And then when you look at this one right here, this is my ultra HEPA filter. This is the last one, and this one looks brand spanking new as well. Each one of these slide into this, this tray. And then as you slide it in, you want to make sure that it's nice and secure. And the whole point here is that you're going to have an extended use or extended filter life because of how that cyclone technology that's working at the very top. Now, you can, if you're using this on a non-xTool product that doesn't support this automatic on-off and then the automatic intensity feature that's going to be based on the materials that you're engraving, you do have buttons here that I'll show you in a second that you can actually turn this on manually. The other cool thing about this is that both of these products have a silent mode. So if you want to make sure that it's not loud, you can actually do that in the software, and it will make the actual unit more quiet as you are using or as you're engraving. As you can see here are several controls that you can use. You have this power on. This is your fan control, and you can see that it has multiple levels, 4 levels. And then here you have the auto. When I have this connected to my F1 Ultra, my M1 Ultra, or my P2S, which I hope to get at some point, this will automatically adjust itself for the right power, the vacuuming that takes place, like as if you think about as it's suctioning based on the materials that you're engraving, it will do it automatically for you. And in the software, you'll see you can actually configure this to actually go into silent mode. And you can see here you have all the other statuses. Inside of the software, you'll see even more. All right, guys, so let me show you what we're going to be engraving today and leveraging again the inline fan system. But before we do that, let's talk about how it will show up once you're in the software. So you'll notice up here it says Safety Pro IF2 is connected, and that's because it sees it through the Bluetooth as a Bluetooth accessory. So you can see right here where it sees it right here, and I can choose ignore if I wanted to, but I have it connected. And I'm telling you, my experience with this has been absolutely fantastic. I love the fact that I can leave the actual inline fan on, and it will only turn on when it's needed, and it's going to do it based on the material itself. So here I have the inline fan, it's connected, and what we're going to be doing is today we're going to be engraving an actual hat, right? So this is a suede hat. I've made a hat jig that fits inside of the F1 Ultra, and it props the hat as you see it right there. And then what I've done is 2 things. In order to align, I'm not going to use the curved engraving. I basically have 2 things. I have my image of my hat, and then I've created this crosshair. And what this crosshair allows me to do is it allows me to see, because I'm trying to align it with the crease that you see right here with the hat. Now, when you look at things from an image perspective, you'll notice that the crosshair looks like it's not quite on the actual crease, but it is. Let's go ahead and go over to the F1 Ultra so you can see once we do the framing, and you'll see how it looks. But before we do that, something else I wanted to share with you, and that's the settings. So when I go here, this is the actual image that we're going to engrave, and we're going to be engraving it using these settings: power 35, speed 1000, 1 pass 120 lines per centimeter, and it's a blue light. So this is an SVG. So I'm not going to look at this now, but what I'll do is I'm going to run a frame first and show you what it looks like on the F1 Ultra, and you'll see what this crosshair looks like. And then what I'm going to do is going to run a frame again with the image that you see here. Let's go ahead and do that. All right, so we're going to move in to see where that crosshair is. So you see how that crosshair is coming in? And if I go all the way over here on this side, you'll notice that it's going right into the crease, which is exactly what I want. And this is where I want the center of the actual image to be, right there. So what my jig will do is it will basically hold the hat up so that it doesn't move, and it also keeps it so that it's open up. So as you can see right there. So let's go ahead and see what the image would look like with the next preview. Now what you can see here is the actual preview of the image And what I'm looking at is basically just the overall drawing of the image to see if it's kind of where I want it to be. I'm going to go ahead and do the frame one more time, but do it as in a box format so you can see how much it covers. All right, so here you can see how much of the hat the actual image is going to cover. And you can see how that's nicely aligned. We're going to come over here. It's kind of hard to see it through the actual shield, but you can see on this side as well. So this is pretty good. I like where it's at. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be running the engrave next. All right, let's go ahead and see how that turned out. I think it turned out spectacular. Let's get a close-up. All right, so it's done. Check it out. Let's go ahead and do the reveal. There you go. I think Nilda's gonna love it. And you know what's the best part of this? There's no smoke and there's no smell. Absolutely fantastic. So guys, that wraps up our video. See you in the next one.